Hello everyone. So we're in Brazil. We just joined an ayahuasca ceremony last night. It was a beautiful experience. Probably one of the most significant experiences for us. After 19 times, this was the 20th time that we did it. And of course, every time is beautiful. Every time is like the first time. But especially this time, I felt like we closed a lot of cycles, and especially with the medicine and in our personal lives. And especially today that it's Easter, for us it represents a way of coming back to a different life, to a life of new opportunities, a life of new ways of wanting to become and wanting to be as a person, as a human being, as brothers, as parents, as friends. So it's just the significance of rising together, because the rising of Master Jesus, it wasn't about him, it wasn't rising the spirit of humanity. And I think until today, whether you are Christian or Muslim, it doesn't matter. Easter worldwide signifies so much, because at a collective level, there's something that unites us a little bit and puts us in that helping each other, making each other's experience a little better. And I think that's the key for today. How can we make each other's experience a little better? So while we are here, whether there are war problems or not, can we actually help each other and extend a hand and help one rise above his problems, her problems? And at the same time, as we help, we rise above ourselves too. We rise above our ego and our need to be all about us, which not that is a bad thing, but once we have helped each other, there is always room, there is always time to help somebody else. And one of the main messages that I personally received last night, because yes, helping someone, it can also come in the form of not interfering in their work or not crossing their boundaries. Because sometimes, especially as men, and this goes to all my male friends, and to any male that potentially can be listening to this video, sometimes when we find a woman that we believe is attractive to us and we want to get to know that person, and we want to give the best of ourselves, we are so caught up in what can we do to get the attention of this person, we forget to think of that person first and ask, or just simply get to know the person first before we make a move, because everyone has boundaries. And men sometimes are, as a guy I can say this, we just think or don't think and go ahead and make moves in trying to get a woman's attention, and we cross their boundaries. And this is so delicate, because women have boundaries, men have boundaries too, we have boundaries too, but especially women have these boundaries that if we are not careful enough not to cross them, we might be interfering and violating their space. It can be physical, mental, emotional, because women, of course, we think differently, we feel differently, and sometimes we just go ahead and move into their space without being invited. So last night it was a great reminder because we all want to be in a sacred relationship, in a beautiful relationship, a loving relationship. But if we are not in a loving relationship with ourselves, we can, in fact, reflect that in our relationships, and the same way we don't show that love towards ourselves, we can also start to sort of like a virus infect everyone where we go. So that's why it's so important that when you're trying to help someone, also consider how are you feeling while trying to help as well, because sometimes we might just be affecting them more than trying to help someone that just needs their own space. So helping comes with a good intention, like my brother mentions, but also are these people asking for our help? Because if they are not, then we're just interfering and crossing their boundaries. Yeah, and a good way to know whether the help we are extending is legitimate or not. You know, sometimes we might want to help without even realizing that we're trying to manipulate a situation or that person, and masking our help with masking our manipulation with help. So it's very important to really look inside and really know our true intentions. And as long as it comes from the heart, meaning, like when we do something for ourselves, out of self-love, it comes with an honest, just non-reciprocative intention. So it's the same way, we need to help, without expecting something in return. Now the universe will take care of that. The universe always does. This energy force, whether you call it energy source or God or the universe, makes no difference. It always gives us the reward that we are or not expecting. So we must look at that, just to remember that when you're going to help somebody and extend a hand, it has to be without expecting something in return. Because if you are, then that means you are trying to manipulate that situation, and it's become something else rather than help. So that was the little contribution we wanted to make for today's Easter, the rebirth of a consciousness within us. Because as much as this day represents more of a religious holiday, it's also a remembrance at every level, no matter what the religion is, to go back and be reborn from within, to make new agreements with ourselves. And you don't have to be in a ceremony, in an ayahuasca ceremony or any type of ceremony, because your life is the ceremony, and you are the promise. You are what this beautiful master Jesus said when he promised he will be back. It was as you and not as anything else. So you are the promise that it's here today. And once we recognize ourselves as the promise, there is a shift. Something happens that we might not realize it, but it's always there. So thank you for listening, and remember that the change that you're looking for, it's you. We are all the change. Namaste. Namaste.